I'm Morrissey, and I'm doing Paul's monologue from a chorus line. From seeing all those movie musicals, I used to dance around the street a lot. I'd get caught all the time. God, it was embarrassing. I was always being Sid Charisse. Always. Which I never really understood because I always wanted to be an actor. I really wanted to perform. Once, my cousin said to me, "You'll never be an actor." And I knew she was telling me this because I was such a sissy. I was terribly effeminate. I always knew I was gay, but that didn't bother me. What bothered me was I didn't know how to be a boy. Once I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, "You're 14 years old and you're a faggot. What are you going to do with your life?" By that time, I was in Cardinal Hayes High School. There were 3,000 boys there. I had no protection anymore. No homeroom where I could be charming and funny with all the tough guys so they'd fight my battles for me, like in small schools. I liked school, but my grades got so bad that even when I knew the answers to questions, I'd be too afraid to raise my hand in case people would laugh at me. They used to whistle at me in halls. It was awful, just awful. Finally, I went down to the principal's office and I said, "I'm a homosexual." Well, it was a Catholic school, around 1962. And when you're a 15-year-old boy, you just didn't say that. So he said to me, "Would you like to see a psychologist?" And I did, and then he said to me, "I think you're well adjusted for your age, and I think you should quit school." And I did. I didn't want to. I just couldn't take it anymore. See, when I quit school, what I was doing was I was trying to find out who it was that I was and how to be a man. You know, there are a lot of people in this world who don't know how to be men. And since then I found out I am one. I was just looking for the wrong thing. I was trying to be Butch. I started hanging around 32nd Street, meeting all these really strange people, just trying to find people who were like me. Trying to find out who it was that I was. Somebody told me they were looking for male dancers down the Jukebox Review. You know, the drag show. So I go down to audition. My first audition, I could turn anything. All those years of being Sid Charisse. And they said to me, "You're too short to be a boy. Would you like to be a pony?" And I said, "What's that?" And they said, "A girl." What have I got to do? "Show us your legs." So I went and they hiked up my dungarees and they put on a pair of nylon stockings and high heels. It was freaky, it was incredible. They brought me back downstairs and they said to me, "You have wonderful legs." And I said, "Really? Terrific." So strange thinking about this. It was a whole lifetime ago. I was just past 15. And then there was this thing of keeping it all from my parents. God, that was something. Because I had to buy all this stuff, you know, like shoes to rehearse in, earrings, makeup. And then I would hide it all. My mother would find it. I told her there was this girl in the show and she didn't want her parents knowing what she was doing, so I was holding this stuff for her. She believed me. Well, I was finally in show business. It was the asshole of show business, but it was a job. Nothing to brag about. I had friends. But after a while, it got so demeaning that nobody in the jewel box had any dignity anymore. And most of them were ashamed of themselves or considered themselves as freaks. I don't know. Maybe it was the lack of dignity that got to me. So I left. Oh, I muddled around for a while. Got a job as an office boy, a waiter. But without an education, you can't get a good job. So when the jewel box called and asked if I'd go back, I went. We were working the Apollo Theatre on 124th Street, doing 4 shows a day with a movie. It was really tacky, but the show was going to Chicago. So my parents wanted to say goodbye, and they were going to bring my luggage to the theatre after the show. We were doing this Oriental number, and I looked like Anna May Wong. I had these 2 great big chrysanthemums either side of my head with this huge headdress with gold balls hanging all over it. I was going on for the finale, and who should I see standing by the stage door? My parents. They'd gotten there too early. I didn't know what to do. I freaked. I just said to myself, just keep going. They'll never recognize you. So I started downstairs, and just as I passed my mother, I heard her say, "Oh my God." Well, I died. I didn't know what to do. I just kept going. I had to go on for the finale. After the show, I went back upstairs, and after I'd finished dressing and taking my makeup off, I came back down, and there they were, standing in the middle of all these all they said to me was, "Please write. Make sure you eat. And take care of yourself." Just before they left, my father turned to the producer and he said, "Take care of my son." That was the first time he'd ever called me that.